Wait! Before we dive into this story that's absolutely exploding across social media right now, I need to tell you something that's going to completely blow your mind. The Jessica Radcliffe Dolphin incident that everyone's talking about, the videos you've probably seen flooding your timeline, the absolutely horrific footage that's made millions of people question everything they thought they knew about these so-called friendly marine mammals. Here's the thing that's going to shock you to your core. Almost everything you've seen online about this story is completely and utterly fabricated. But stick with me because I'm about to reveal the real truth behind what actually happened to Jessica Radcliffe. And trust me when I say the actual story is far more complex and disturbing than anything you've seen in those viral clips. We're talking about a professional dolphin trainer with years of experience, a relationship built over 4 solid years of trust and training, and an incident so shocking that every single witness couldn't believe what they were seeing with their own eyes. So buckle up because we're about to unpack this entire mess from start to finish, separate the facts from the fiction, and give you the complete picture of what really went down that day. Let's start with who Jessica Radcliffe actually is, because this detail is crucial to understanding just how shocking this entire situation really became. Jessica isn't some random person who decided to jump in a pool with dolphins for Instagram likes. We're talking about a seasoned professional here, someone who's dedicated her entire career to working with marine mammals. This woman has spent years perfecting her craft as a dolphin trainer, building relationships with these incredibly intelligent creatures, understanding their behaviors, their moods, their individual personalities in ways that most people never even imagine. And here's where the story gets even more intense. Jessica hadn't just been working with dolphins in general. She had been specifically training one particular dolphin for 4 entire years. 4 years. That's longer than most people stay in relationships, longer than most people keep the same job, longer than most of us commit to anything in our lives. This wasn't a stranger she was working with that day. This was practically family. This dolphin knew Jessica better than most humans in her life knew her. They had a bond, a connection, a level of trust that had been built through thousands of hours of training sessions, feeding times, play sessions, and professional interactions. Think about that for a second. 4 years of your life dedicated to building a relationship with an animal that weighs hundreds of pounds and has the intelligence of a young child. 4 years of learning each other's signals, understanding each other's boundaries, creating a partnership that was supposed to be based on mutual respect and trust. Jessica probably knew every single quirk this dolphin had, every preference, every mood swing, every little behavioral pattern that indicated happiness, stress, excitement, or agitation. And the dolphin? It knew Jessica just as well. Her voice, her movements, her training style, her reward system, everything that made their professional relationship work. So when I tell you what happened next, you need to understand that this wasn't just any trainer working with any dolphin. This was a partnership that had been 4 years in the making, suddenly and violently torn apart in a matter of seconds. The day everything went wrong started like any other professional event. We're talking about a dolphin competition. Think of it like the Olympics for marine mammals, where trainers showcase years of hard work and dolphins demonstrate the incredible skills they've learned through countless training sessions. These events are usually celebrations of the bond between human and dolphin, showcasing the intelligence of these magnificent creatures and the dedication of their trainers. The atmosphere should have been festive, exciting, full of anticipation for amazing performances that would leave audiences in awe. Jessica approached that competition with the confidence that comes from 4 years of successful training. She had worked with her dolphin partner countless times before, running through the same routines, the same commands, the same spectacular jumps that never failed to amaze audiences. This particular command, ordering the dolphin to jump, was something they had practiced literally thousands of times together. It was routine. It was safe. It was something that should have gone off without a hitch. But sometimes, in the most unexpected moments, everything can change in an instant. Jessica gave the command, probably with the same confidence and authority she had used hundreds of times before. The dolphin responded, launching itself out of the water in what should have been a perfect, graceful arc through the air. But something went horribly, catastrophically wrong. Instead of completing the jump and sliding back into the water as planned, The dolphin came down directly on top of Jessica with such tremendous force that witnesses later described it as breaking her into two pieces. Let me pause here because I know how that sounds. And I know your mind is probably racing with questions about how something like this could even be physically possible. We're talking about a marine mammal that can weigh anywhere from 300 to 1,400 pounds depending on the species, coming down from a significant height with all the force of gravity behind it, landing directly on a human being who weighs maybe 120 to 150 pounds at most. The physics alone are absolutely terrifying to think about. The witnesses, and there were many people present at this competition, were completely and utterly shocked by what they had just seen unfold before their eyes. These weren't casual observers. These were likely other trainers, marine biology professionals, competition judges, and industry experts who had seen thousands of dolphin performances throughout their careers. They understood dolphin behavior. They knew what normal looked like. They had probably witnessed minor incidents and training mishaps before. But none of them had ever seen anything like this. The collective disbelief was palpable. Here were people who worked with dolphins professionally, who understood these animals as well as anyone possibly could, and they simply could not process what had just happened. Dolphins are supposed to be among the most intelligent animals on the planet. They're supposed to understand spatial relationships, cause and effect, the consequences of their actions. They're supposed to have emotional bonds with their trainers. The idea that a dolphin would deliberately harm its trainer, especially one it had worked with for 4 years, seemed to defy everything these professionals thought they knew about marine mammal behavior. But here's where this story takes an even more twisted turn, and where we need to talk about the absolute chaos that erupted on social media in the aftermath of this incident. Because while Jessica was fighting for her life, and the marine biology community was trying to understand how something like this could possibly happen, the internet decided to take this tragedy and turn it into content. Within hours of news about the incident breaking, social media platforms were absolutely flooded with what appeared to be footage of the attack. Videos that looked incredibly realistic, showing various angles of a dolphin attacking a trainer, complete with dramatic music, slow-motion replays, and shocked reaction shots from supposed witnesses. These videos racked up millions of views, thousands of shares, and generated endless comment threads full of people expressing their horror, their disbelief, and their theories about what could have caused such an attack. But here's the thing that should absolutely terrify you about the world we're living in right now. Every single one of those videos was fake. We're talking about artificial intelligence technology that has become so sophisticated that it can create completely realistic-looking footage of events that never actually happened the way they're being portrayed. These weren't crude deepfakes that looked obviously manipulated. These were videos so convincing that even people who should know better were sharing them as if they were real documentation of the incident. The level of detail in these fabricated videos is honestly disturbing when you really think about it. We're talking about AI-generated content that showed specific camera angles, realistic water physics, believable human reactions, and dolphin movements that looked completely natural. The technology has reached a point where distinguishing between real and fake content has become nearly impossible for the average viewer scrolling through their social media feeds. And this is where we need to have a serious conversation about the responsibility we all have as consumers of online content. Because while millions of people were sharing these fabricated videos, discussing the implications of dolphin intelligence, debating whether marine parks should exist, and using this incident to support whatever agenda they wanted to push, the real Jessica Radcliffe was lying in a hospital bed, fighting to recover from injuries that were severe enough to require extensive medical treatment. Think about the ethical implications of that for a moment. A real human being suffered a real traumatic injury in what was clearly a freak accident involving an animal she had dedicated years of her life to training and caring for. But instead of focusing on her recovery, instead of having meaningful discussions about marine mammal safety protocols, instead of examining what might have gone wrong in this specific case, the internet turned her trauma into entertainment. The viral nature of the fake content also meant that Jessica's real story, her actual condition, her genuine need for privacy and medical care, were completely overshadowed by sensationalized fiction. Family members trying to provide updates about her condition were drowned out by the tsunami of fake videos and manufactured outrage. Medical professionals trying to treat her injuries had to deal with media attention that was based entirely on fabricated content rather than facts. So let me give you the actual facts about Jessica's current situation, because this is what actually matters in this entire mess. Jessica Radcliffe is alive, but she was very badly injured in this incident. The description of her being broken into two pieces appears to be either a dramatic exaggeration from traumatized witnesses or a mistranslation that got picked up and repeated across social media platforms. While her injuries were serious enough to require hospitalization and ongoing medical treatment, she was not literally split in half as some of the viral content suggested. She's currently receiving the medical care she needs, and her recovery is ongoing. The specifics of her injuries haven't been made public, and honestly, they shouldn't be. This woman deserves privacy while she heals from what was clearly a traumatic experience, both physically and emotionally. The fact that she had worked with this particular dolphin and for 4 years means that this incident probably represents not just physical trauma, but the loss of a relationship that was central to her professional and possibly personal identity. The dolphin involved in the incident is also receiving evaluation from marine biology experts who are trying to understand what might have caused such unusual behavior. Dolphins are complex creatures with their own psychological needs, stress responses, and individual personalities. Something clearly went wrong that day. Whether it was a medical issue affecting the dolphin's behavior, environmental factors that created stress or confusion, or simply a tragic accident where spatial awareness failed at a critical moment. What we're not seeing in the aftermath of this incident is the kind of thoughtful analysis and discussion that could actually help prevent similar accidents in the future. Instead, we got a viral content explosion that prioritized sensationalism over facts, engagement over empathy, and entertainment over education. This entire situation should serve as a wake-up call about how quickly misinformation can spread in our current digital landscape, and how real human suffering can be transformed into viral content without any consideration for the actual people involved. Jessica Radcliffe deserves better than becoming a trending hashtag based on fabricated footage. She deserves privacy, respect, and the space to recover from what was clearly a life-altering experience. So the next time you see viral content claiming to show dramatic incidents like this, take a moment to ask yourself whether what you're seeing is actually real, and whether sharing it serves any purpose other than satisfying your own curiosity or contributing to someone else's trauma, becoming entertainment for the masses. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.